The skill we're going to work on with our story today is retell. One way to remember and understand a story is to retell it by telling the story in your own words. Telling the parts of a story in order will help the story make sense. When you retell a story, you use your own words to tell about what happened. First, you tell what happened in the beginning, then you tell what happened in the middle. Finally, you tell what happened at the end of the story. It's important to retell the story events in order in which they happened. So using the words first, next, and last can make the order of our events easier for other people to understand. And then readers can use words and pictures to help tell about the events. So let's listen to our story. A big guy took my ball. This is a fantasy story. A fantasy are stories that are made up events that could not really happen. Well, how do we know it's fantasy? Well, there are animals that talk and act like people, and some of the pictures help you understand that. And then there's going to be a problem and then a solution to that problem. Remember that we're going to read to understand events in the beginning, middle, and end. We're going to look for details in the words and our pictures to help us, and then we're going to try to retell the events in our own words. So let's meet Moe Williams.
Moe Williams has written many stories, including a series of elephant and piggy books. The elephant's name is Gerald. When Mr. Williams was looking for an animal to be Gerald's friend, he first drew a muskrat and then a squirrel wearing a helmet. Finally, he drew Piggy, and she got the job. Mr. Williams says that he wants all his characters to be things that a 5-year-old can draw. Maybe that is because Mr. Williams started drawing when he was 5.
Turn my reading highlighter on. All right. A Big Guy Took My Ball by Moe Williams.
Gerald! I found a big ball, and it was so fun. And then a big guy came, and...
Okay, so who's talking in our story? The piggy guy, the little piggy character. How did you know that? Well, the author shows her words in her speech balloons and they point to her. That's how we know that Piggy is talking.
He took my ball.
So what's Piggy's problem and how does she feel about that problem? Well, the problem is that a big guy took her ball and I think she's pretty upset. How did I know that? Well, look at her words. He took my ball. They're really big. It's big, like she's shouting. And then our picture shows her crying. And then Gerald being knocked over by her loud words. So retelling a story can help me understand it. When I retell a story, I'm going to use my own words to tell what happens. At the beginning of the story, Piggy tells her friend about how much fun she was having with the ball she found, but then a big guy took the ball.
I am so upset. That is not good. That is not right.
So how is Gerald, he's the elephant, reacting when he finds out what happened? First, he's surprised. And then I think he's sad. And then it looks like he gets mad.
Big guys have all the fun. What about the little guys? What makes those big guys think they are so big? Their size? Well, I am big too. I will get your big ball from that big guy.
So why does the author show Gerald's words in all capital letters? why are these in all capital letters? It's to show that Gerald is shouting. All right, so I'm going to pause here just to check that I understand what's happening by retelling in my own words. The elephant, which is Gerald, gets very upset. He thinks that a big guy took Piggy's ball just because he's bigger than Piggy. He decides he's going to get that ball back.
My hero. Here I go. Let's see how big this big guy is.
I want you just to look at this picture for a second. So what happens when Gerald sees the big guy? Well, Gerald is surprised to see how big he is. And Gerald's too afraid to get the ball. How did I know that? Well, look. Gerald looks surprised right here and scared. He is backing away from the big guy.
Did you get my ball back? That is a big guy. You did not say how big he was. He is very big. He is bigger than I am. Much bigger. I am smaller than he is. Much smaller. He is so big. Gerald, you did not get my big ball back, did you? I did not.
Okay, so let's pause a second and retell. So what happens in this part of our story? Gerald goes to get the ball back, but sees that the big guy is much bigger than him. He's afraid of him and does not even try to get the ball back.
Excuse me.
Who do you think is talking now? The big guy. How did I know that? Why did I think that? Well, because the big guy saw Gerald. The words are shown in very big letters, which could mean that it's someone who is very big talking.
Thank you for finding my little ball. That is your ball? And you think it is little?
So, what do Piggy and Gerald learn? They learned something here. They learned that the ball belongs to the big guy. Why is Piggy surprised that the big guy thinks the ball is so little? Because it is big compared to her.
Well, I am big. So big that no one will play with me.
Oh, so what is big guy's problem? No one will play with him because he's so big.
Little guys have all the fun.
So what do you think Gerald and Piggy are going to do? Maybe they might play with the big guy?
Big guy? Would you like to play whale ball with us? What is whale ball? We do not know. We have not made it up yet. With a little help, we can all have big fun.
Okay, so let's retell what happens at the end of the story. The big guy comes and thanks Gerald and Piggy for finding his ball. He's sad that no one will play with him because he is so big. Piggy and Gerald realized that they were wrong about him and asked him to play a new game with them. They all had fun. Okay, so I want you to try to retell the story from the beginning. Think about what happened at the beginning of the story. Think about those big events that happened at the beginning, and then what happened in the middle of those events, and then what happens at the end with those events. And how does Gerald how do their feelings change from the beginning to the middle to the end?